What's up, guys? Dakota here, and welcome back to the Driven Mad channel. So today what we're gonna do is, obviously we're in the two-door JL, which hasn't been around on the channel for a while, and that's just because I just don't drive it that much anymore. But what I thought I'd do is kind of talk about some of the things that I'm kind of wanting to change, and some things that are actually going to be coming fairly soon for this Jeep, just to kind of get it a little bit kind of more what I want it to be, and also better for when we take it on longer trips and things like that to accompany the Bronco or the 392. So let's go ahead and talk about the biggest thing, which is I'm not super happy with how this lift has kind of made this Jeep. If you guys seen any of my previous videos on it, you know, I've kind of talked about it in length. That is a very nice house. Look at that. Huh. And basically what I don't like is it did fix some issues, like it doesn't have a whole lot of brake dive and a whole lot of like acceleration and kind of pitch anymore with when you're changing gear. However, it does have that has basically made it to where it's very stiff, and bumps kind of make it bounce around a little bit more than I feel like it should, which is disconcerting to some people when they're driving at 70, 75 miles an hour and they hit a bump and the whole thing feels like it kind of wants to just jump lanes. So, you know, like I mentioned to you guys before, you know, when I gave you guys the last update on it, when we do take this on trips, my grandparents will be using this instead of their four-door JK, just because this already has lockers, it's already got a lift, right, 35s, so they don't have to go and dump thousands of dollars into their JK just to be able to accompany us on a trip. So they'll be using this, but he's not a huge fan of driving it on the highway because it just doesn't feel settled. He feels like it just kind of moves around a bit too much. And personally, I kind of agree. After you hop out of, say, the Wrangler 392 or the two-door Bronco, and you get to experience those at highway speeds, this does feel a little less stable. Now, part of that is also just the fact that it just has the shortest wheelbase out of all of those. So a new lift will be coming at some point. I just have to kind of decide which lift I want to go with and how much I actually want to spend. Like I said, different suspension setup, and the main reason for that is just because you know, I bought this lift because it was relatively inexpensive when I bought it, and I kind of wanted to have something fairly quick before I went out on my trip to Moab. And first blush I was like, yeah, you know, this is okay, it's not doing too bad. But after having it for a while, it just really isn't suited to this. Again, if you have a four-door, again, if you're not familiar, I'll leave a link up here somewhere so you guys can check it out. But this lift is also designed for a four-door, which has more weight, which means that it would be compressed more and a bit more in that compression area to where it rides a little bit better. Whereas because this is a two-door and it's a manual, it's a light two-door as opposed to a four-door automatic with maybe even, you know, a different engine that's heavier. So it's designed to handle those heavier loads, which means this doesn't ride as well. It's a little bouncy, it gets kind of tossed around a little bit more. The next thing that I want to talk about is these guys right here. So what I figured we'd do is, actually I already have them on order, is get the Rockslide Engineering Power side steps. And normally I'm not a huge fan of adding side steps to my off-road stuff, just because I don't like that, especially when they're fixed, they just decrease your clearance. They get caught up on things and snagged on things. But I've heard a lot of good things about the Rockslide Engineering, that they're very durable, and obviously the fact that they can come down and then go get sucked right back up close to the body. That's kind of what the next thing that we're going to do to it is, just again, just to help with the ease and getting in and out of the thing, because with the tires and the lift, it sits about 5 inches higher than the standard Wrangler, so it's quite a bit of a jump. Doesn't bother me, but you do kind of have to hop up in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do those, and eventually The tires, if you guys remember, when I added these 35s, I accidentally got an E-load rating as opposed to C, which doesn't really mean much other than just the tire is unnecessarily heavy, and I haven't touched the gearing on this thing, but with the heavier tires, with the heavier wheels, it does on highways and again on longer trips, when you start getting up in some hills and stuff, you definitely notice that it doesn't quite have the guts to really keep it there without you downshifting multiple times, because again, mine is the manual. So again, just some of the quick things that we're going to do to it. It's still doing good. It's still got, like, I think it's only got like 57,000 miles on it. So it's still kicking it. It's still just as awesome as the day that I picked it up. It definitely has a few more scratches on it than it used to. But like I said, I just figured since it hasn't been on the channel in a while, and you know, I just had an opportunity to kind of talk to you guys about it, I would. So yeah, so you guys will see more of this. I am trying to plan a trip with this and the Bronco. It's just kind of timing and making sure that, you know, I can actually take the time off of work, because this is clearly not my full-time job. But yeah, because I kind of want to get these two out on like an actual kind of overlanding off-road course. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed this quick little video for you guys on the two-door. Yes, it's still around. I just don't, like I said, I just don't use it as much anymore, which is partly my own fault just because I have more cars to use, and I still love it, and I never want it to go away because this is my first ever car that brand new that I bought, and I ordered everything on it. So yeah, anyways guys, hope you enjoyed the quick little update. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.